Unsurpassed, telecast, it's the 10 Items or Less podcast.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the episode of 10 Items or Less. I'm your host, Justin Smith. You know the deal where we bring in a guest and we fire 10 questions at him. My guest today, I am so excited to have him show. Matt Braunger is on the show today, and he is absolutely one of my favorite comics. When I found out he was going to be on the show, I could not contain myself. Matt is one of those comics where he'll talk about something in one of his acts, and then every time you see that thing, that's all you think about. That's the type of comic that he is. He's been doing that to me personally for years, and to have him in my home, in my studio, absolutely amazing. This episode delivered beyond a level that I could even sell it. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Matt Braunger.
Thanks for having me. I
Hell
appreciate
yeah,
it.
dude.
Yeah.
I'm
and thanks
excited
for not saying I listened to him in junior high, and he really no.
No. Dude. It's
I get that, and it used to bug me, but now I'm like, this is awesome. Look at you. You're a grown person now,
dude. It's kind of like a surreal moment to have you here because like. It's weird when you start out in comedy and you have like a day job, and like I was driving through Oklahoma oil fields, and you also have the classic comedy thing where there are a lot of great comics that you know, but they don't have bits that you can identify. But I cannot listen to The Doors without thinking about your bit.
I was thinking about, and I really appreciate you posting. I don't know if you were interviewed and you said, "Well, I gotta go with this bit." And you talked about the
for
Doors
sure,
bit.
yeah.
Because I remember that's one of those bits I remember. First time I did it, just like so many jokes just come from you riffing with friends, and then your friends going, "Oh, that's so funny," and then you write it down. But I remember I was in a car, as I moved to LA with Kyle Kinane from Chicago,
right?
And we were in a car, and we just started. We were still in that era of get drunk, then eat.
Right.
Which is long since gone,
right.
But we, typically go to whatever, Taco Bell or anything. But like, it was just, the Doors came on and I just started kind of riffing. We were in a car together just about like this guy is just drunk and singing about what he wants to eat. It's the same energy. And I just did, Whopper. And I remember Kyle was cracking up and I was like, and Kyle's not an easy laugh.
Absolutely
and so that was
not.
one of those things I was like, I got something here.
When you make like a comic laugh, you're like, oh, this is my life's made.
Well, and like Kyle's problem is his intelligence. Like he always puts himself down as like, oh, I don't know. And it's like, no, dude, you have an insightful brain.
Yeah.
You have a really, like, I really think Kyle could have been like a scientist or a doc, because he's like, it's all about, okay, what's the problem? Let me figure this out kind of thing.
Well, his word usage in his stand-up, it's like him, I would put him and Patton Oswalt is the finding the perfect word and then also never repeating it again.
Yeah.
And those little levels of detail are like unbelievable.
Yeah, but that kind of examination makes you kind of a cynic. I mean, it's sad, but that Dana Gould line about a comedian's brain, and you're looking at everything all the time, and then you reach the point and go, well, how do where's the thing that says why life is worth it? Right. Kind of thing. And he was, talking about Robin Williams and talking about other of us that have passed on in, self-inflicted ways. It's really dark. I'm sorry, but you know what I mean?
Super dark.
I went fucking, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, you're good.
But yeah, so like Kyle will always look at the less so now, but the dark side of things. But it's that, it's that thing where, so he'll kind of just be like, is it? I don't know, but with that, he was like, he was cracking up, and I'm like, this one's gold.
But you also want to be like, that's the guy that I want to be. That's the guy.
You want to make him laugh.
Yeah.
You don't want to be Kyle, trust me. No offense, dude. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, there are moments where you're like as a guy that I'm pretty chill and I like to be a homebody, but there are times when you hear him talk about something, you go, a 6-pack of beers on the back of the toilet and you're like, oh man, I've never been that down, like like you're like, oh man, like, or even just like where he talks about eating what's the taco place in LA?
Del Taco.
Yeah. He's like having Del Taco wrappers in the trash can in the toilet, and you're like, dude, that's wide even for me. You know what I mean?
Pretty
like,
bad.
How are you your size, really?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
All right, dude, let's get into it.
Okay, let's do it.
First question.
Okay.
What's the last thing you dropped in the toilet?
What's the last thing I dropped in a toilet? I have a 5-year-old daughter, so not her.
Right.
But sometimes it'll be like I'm carrying her and she's got something that she just picked up. And it's like, bookush, you know, less now. But yeah, I'm usually pretty, nothing comes off the top of my head. Maybe something, I would probably like a box of tissues that I was like just knocked in kind of thing. Yeah, but not... I haven't had
anything on the counter just feels like
it goes in. At some point, it's going in.
And of course, it's like the worst day possible. That's when it's like
exactly.
The perfect.
Someone's got a cold. Oh,
you can't win a game
anymore.
You can't win a game of cornhole to save your life. But
yes,
a diamond pair of earrings
in
or a piece
hole.
of jewelry, just right in there
for sure. Yeah,
and then not even on the edge, just right to the bottom.
Right in.
Yeah.
I was a waiter and a bartender for 10 years in Chicago, and I never forget. There's a guy who came in and was like, can you guys help me? I dropped my wedding ring in the sewer grate. And we're all like, okay. Like, he was like, I'm going to a bar. Oh no. Everybody knew. He got like a stick with gum and shit. And I think they got it out.
Yeah.
But it was just like,
there's no better moment of the universe being like, I love the instant karma of you try to take your wedding ring off.
That's a teachable moment right there. Yeah, maybe you shouldn't be.
You weren't losing weight. That's not a oops has happened. It's not a fresh ring either.
No, yeah, it's like there's a lot of ways you can lose your ring, but through a grate, you took it off.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing, dude. I also love the idea that your daughter's like, this belongs in the toilet now too. Like,
but like, wouldn't you? Like, you already have what I call the data taxi. I call her that. I say, like, you want a taxi? And I pick her up and I walk her over there or whatever. You already have this big guy carrying you around, and then you get to hold stuff, and you're like, I don't want it now. You know, it's the mentality of like a French aristocrat.
For sure. I love that. Just
be gone.
You really are because I went to Bible college to be like a preacher.
Oh, okay.
So it is because like almost like she's like Zacchaeus and you're the tree, which is just so funny.
I love that reference. I love arcane biblical lore. So.
Yeah, those references play real well in the middle of the country.
Dude, I had you know who GM3 is?
No.
He's a UFC guy. He's a big. I bet he knows who you are. He's a big comedy nerd.
Oh,
but
wow.
He's got like the record for like most. It's finishes or submissions, something terrible. But like, he's an MMA guy.
Oh, that's cool.
And he's got a mustache. And I had him on the show, and he wore like a tank top that like as I put it, one of the heavies from Roadhouse would wear.
Oh my god!
And he's like, that's what I was going for. And he's the nicest guy, and he's a dad and a husband, and like one of those guys who just got into it because he loves it, and he actually teaches it.
Right.
Long story long, we got into the story. I'm kind of obsessed with David and Goliath.
Of course.
And how it's just mostly it's the misunderstandings we have of it, that Goliath wasn't even a tough guy. He was just enormous.
Yeah.
He was a Rephaim that were absorbed by the Philistines in battle. That's what you did.
Of course.
You took and he was just a giant baby, and they raised him to be largely a totem. He would walk at the front of the army,
right.
And you'd see this guy who, by our measurements, would be 10 feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
10 feet tall man. You'd be like, you can just have my sword, you can have my shield. You
Right.
could. Most battles are won before a single arrow is
so,
fired.
It's so interesting.
I'm not taking anything away from David. His aim was true.
Right.
The Lord was there. I'm just saying he didn't take on Triple H. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm just saying he didn't take on Kane. The wrestler, not the original murderer. But you know what I'm saying? It's the thing. But I think it was one of those things that inspired. And so, of course, it was told through eons.
That is, dude. First of all, when I was in religion, my favorite Bible verse came from that story.
Oh, really?
It was 1 Samuel 17. I haven't quoted this verse in a long time.
Please hit me.
But it was 1 Samuel 17:45, and it was, "You come at me with a sword, a spear, and a javelin, and I come at you in the name of the Lord God Almighty and the armies of Israel." Mm-hmm. And that was like my favorite verse because I was like, look at him. And now it's just like, it is pretty easy to win a battle when you're the only person that can fling things. Yeah. Like you.
Well, and I'll extrapolate that even further to now, because I love finding the reflections of then and now.
Yeah.
Like I was like thinking about like, who are the Rephaim? Me, Pete Holmes,
right.
Steve Agee.
Yeah.
Non-warlike giant dudes.
It is funny to be like,
and I would love to see Pete Holmes get hit in the head with a rock. Just one
time, dude. Will Magic Mind fix that? You can't say that. You can't put
No,
that out there. Right?
love you, buddy. Yeah, and Steve, and not just him. Steve, me. Yeah. Goes
Well,
down the line.
I have a buddy of mine in New York who is a Jason Choi. He's like 6'8", and he's very Asian. And it just he sticks out everywhere that
He's
he goes.
all the way.
I mean, even in New York City, you're like everybody. You're like if you make New Yorkers turn around and look at you, like it's a whole thing. And he is just he goes, I'm tired of being asked if I'm good at basketball.
Oh yeah.
And he's just, I'm tired of it, dude.
My dad was like, I want to get it because my dad was 6'6". But he's curved now. He's
Right.
80. But he was like, I remember when I was younger, when I was a kid, he'd be like, I want to get a T-shirt that says, "No, do you play miniature golf?" And I'm like,
Yeah.
the joke isn't really there. It's not there exactly. But I remember we were traveling across the country. My parents were teachers, so we kind of went from town to. We lived in Chicago, and then they passed laws that gutted the school system, and then we lived in Santa Barbara. That happened again, and we ended up in Portland. So that's why I grew up in Portland from the age of 3.
Right.
So, but he at one point, we were living at a hotels, and we went to this hotel, and it was like this is back when Holiday Inn still had conventions and had parties there.
Of course,
it's
yeah.
the 70s.
Yeah.
And so there was a tall person convention, and my mom was like, "I've never seen your father happier in my life." So you could look people in the eye. He's like, "Wow." He's like, "Women too. How are you?" He just loved it, and it was just kind of.
It's also great to be able to kind of look up at somebody too.
I love it.
This is amazing.
When I went to an audition recently, and they had this thing for really tall people. So I went in. They're like, "Are you going in for?" I'm like, "No, I'm dumb husband, whatever
Right.
that is, for this car commercial. I'm not. I'm standing in a circle of these tall people, and they're minimum 6'7".
Yeah.
And I was just like, wow, this is really like I'm vibing. This is
Right.
I love this. I love just looking up at you guys.
Well, look, to be fair, you were a lot taller than I expected.
Yeah,
you
I'm
to be,
6'4",
which
so I'm
is
up
like,
there.
I mean, it's like, and so you're just thinking about, especially in this spectrum of like Hollywood, where everybody's short.
Oh, dude.
I mean, you must tower over everybody.
I used to open for Alonzo Bowden, and my dad saw him on the first season of Last Comic Standing, and my dad was like, "Look at him, he looks like normally sized.
Yeah.
you guys the same height." He's like, "You guys would be a monster in a movie or something."
Yeah.
And I'm just like, "Thanks, Dad." But it's true. You go in, and I meet guys who book leading guy stuff all the time, and they're compact. They look almost like, I don't want to say a normal sized man shrunk,
Right.
but they're kind of built like action figures,
Right.
But they're like maybe like 5'7" or
For
so,
sure.
Yeah.
Which
is there's no not normal, but it is that thing where I was just like that's just how you pair people up sometimes,
Right.
But now much less.
It's also very funny when you see in movies, because like I love movies, and so like when you see like the tricks when you have maybe a taller woman.
Yes.
Like my favorite one of these is in the movie Days of Thunder, which is
Yeah.
Tom Cruise, who's
I was
tiny,
gonna say Tom Cruise.
and Nicole Kidman, who's
Yep.
enormous.
Apple box.
Yeah,
Put 'em on
And-
an apple box.
And there's a scene where they do really good about the distance for the whole movie, except there's one scene where he chases the cab driver around, and and so she's like, "Let me out of the car." The Australian accent comes out.
Yeah.
And he stops the car. She gets out. She's walking away, and he has to try and put his hands out to stop her, and she goes, through his hands into his chest, and you get a good glimpse of, wow, there's a lot. And you can also tell that she's going uphill and he's up top. So he's getting help and it's still towering. Like,
Who had that joke? It was a black comic who was short, and his bit was like he hates giving someone a pound and a hug because then it's just like,
oh,
Dad.
oh, that's great, dude. I think that David and Goliath, I don't know if you're doing it on stage, but dude, that's.
I don't know what the joke is yet, but I'll get something out of it because I
Right.
just love the lore.
Next question. This feels way sillier than after
Let's
having
go.
that. Would you rather? Now this is a road trip from coast to coast.
Okay.
Would you rather have a road trip in a smart car or a monster truck?
Whoa.
And when I say smart car, I don't mean like Tesla. I mean like the brand Smart, the little.
Oh, the little guy.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah. Rather definitely a monster truck. Though that would be so brutal for the environment. Sorry, just
Yeah.
calling it out. But if I could figure out something where we do where those companies that'll either make it hybrid or electric. That would be cool.
Okay.
Because it's like with the smart cars. Far as I'm concerned, those are only for like within the city use because they're so dangerous. There's nothing. There's nothing around you to crumple if a car hits you. You are the crumpling. You are
the frame.
You're the airbag. So it's like it's that thing where it's like, yeah, I care about the environment, but I don't want to die for it. So if I gotta pick one, it's got to be monster truck.
I mean, dude,
and also the waves you'd get.
Dude,
and
that's
like
exactly
kids.
what I
it would
said.
be so fun.
All I could
just little kids wait. Oh my gosh,
we were
be a hero.
We were talking about that and how, like, again, I thought about the sound, how much noise it makes.
Yeah, that would be tough.
For 3 days, you're just hearing that noise. But and also the tires. You ever been in a Jeep with like mud tires?
Yeah.
It just goes.
Yeah, that's a lot. And I don't know how they don't go that fast either.
No,
pretty fast. But what's the top speed? Like probably 70s, 80s.
I mean, you could maybe get 60 out of it.
I guess. Yeah.
I guess I don't know the physics aspects where it's like rotation.
Talking out of turn. I don't even know. Yeah.
There's some redneck just yelling at his screen right now. He's like, you don't even know.
Yeah, you'd have.
Bigfoot alone.
He's
can go
yelling
85.
about engine components and the different cars.
But I mean, dude, you nailed it. Where I could live the rest. You ever seen like a kid see you doing something and that kid is just happy?
Oh yeah,
like that joy, that pure joy.
Oh yeah.
If I pulled up on in a monster truck and I see that kid just like do that, like,
oh yeah,
like that wow open mouth.
Well, and they like and you do the horn or whatever. You gotta have some. You have to have a monster horn. Some kind of
course.
Can't just be a car or a truck horn. It's gotta be something that sounds like
a foghorn, maybe
like a foghorn, or like King Kong's bellowing, or like Godzilla's something like that.
Great.
Something crazy.
Or what about the Cloverfield?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's the one.
There it is.
That's the one.
We're making memories over here.
We really are.
I love it. All right. Next question. If you had an unlimited amount of one item, what would you choose?
One item. Wow. Is water an item? Such a boring answer.
Well, I don't know. The way the water's going now, people are buying it up left and right. If you had unlimited water, you'd be a billionaire.
Yeah,
dude.
for sure. Oh gosh. Just because it is a rarity and it is the one thing I'm certainly addicted to, I'd say unlimited coffee beans. Like I never have to buy them again, and I could just make cold brew for free at home all the time.
Is there a particular type of coffee?
Anything from South or Central America, I find is best for, because I like a cold coffee. I like a cold brew coffee. So like that's. I had a barista in actually Billings, Montana. Told me, he was just like, we were talking cold brew and talking about the different varietals, and I don't know that much about coffee, but he was like, really, in my mind, generally speaking, and now I'm going to get coffee aficionados screaming.
Of course, do it.
Either like African coffee is for hot coffee, and South and Central America coffee is better for cold brew.
Okay,
so that's basically it.
That makes sense.
Yeah, and then I could just take some of that extra money and either buy my own roaster or hire a roaster. You know what I mean? To like just drop the beans off, and then he'd give them back to me.
For sure.
So yeah, easy peasy.
There was a place in Nashville where we used to go to all the time that had great Cuban coffee, by the way.
Oh, nice.
They had a whole mechanism where it was like a glass drip.
Yes.
And it was it's like a two-story, one-story thing.
I think that's a Kyoto drip. I think that's a Japanese thing.
And I remember that was like, I love it when you have people that work at a coffee shop like that, but they're honest.
Oh, yeah.
Because you see that, and I go, how long does that take for that coffee to drip and go through? She goes, about 12 hours. And I go, is it worth it? She goes, Yeah. And you're like, that's all I wanted right there.
Great.
You're
just
like,
be real with me.
It's crazy. I understand. Well, like because there's some things in coffee you understand, like the Kona coffee in Hawaii, how they make like such a big deal about it, and you're like, you're like whatever. And
problem with it's tasty, but it's weaker. It's not very strong,
right?
And then which I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah,
you know
I think
what I mean?
sometimes I think it's just the flavor. You don't need like the.
I get that, and I love that, but I don't like high grade gasoline like some people, but.
basically
I
when
like to get close.
when you go to the bathroom, you want to know that you had a cup of coffee. Is what you're saying? Is that what you're saying?
I want it to go fast.
Dude, I love that. That's a great answer.
Thanks.
Next question. You have a roll of quarters in a vintage arcade. Every game is available. How are you spending your roll?
Okay. I'm going to do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh, good answer.
I'm going to give away a couple quarters so someone else can be the other ones so we can team up. I'm going to do Galaga. I'm going to do Donkey Kong. Ms. Pac-Man. I'm going to do Dragon's Lair. I'll do, I'm an 80s kid. I'm going to do, what am I leaving out? I'm leaving out so many things. Contra. I'm going to do, got to do the OG Street Fighter. Or, matter of fact, Double Dragon. And,
wait, are you eliminating Street Fighter 4 Double Dragon?
yes. Yeah. Because I feel like that was the one that I, not to be like, I don't like Friends, I like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But one of them came first. That's true. But okay, I'll do one more. Just finish it off with the ultimate duo, Asteroids and Space Invaders.
Okay.
Just do the two oldest.
So
scores.
you're a old generation
Yes.
purist too.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
we were discussing it. By the way, everything you said up until you threw Street Fighter under the bus.
I get it, yeah. I
Which
understand.
is
I understand.
But you it's that was the first time I ever saw a fat guy on a video game. And you're like, oh, this is
nice,
awesome.
nice.
Yeah. It is funny to be like every like part of the world, they're like, this is what they look. You're like, okay, this is what. And then Brazil, it's like, we have no idea.
No clue.
We have no clue.
No clue.
How about we just make him a monster? By the way,
A green lizard man of some kind.
it is also funny that it's like, it's not like you picked a region where it's like there's not a lot of good fighters, so let's get creative.
Yeah.
It's like Brazilian jiu-jitsu is one of the highest forms of combat.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, no, electricity, and he spins. Let's really get it going. Oh, and he bites people.
We're done. I can't do any
He's
more
part
research.
Vampire.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm shocked that there's not more like not newer, but like mine was always like, I loved Time Crisis.
Oh yeah.
Just because
Really cool.
the idea of like hiding and pulling, like just
It's genius. I mean, video games are so. My cousin writes video games. I think he did the last Metal Gear, and he also wrote a book called Extra Lives: Why Video Games Matter. But he also writes fiction and nonfiction. I mean, he's insane. He wrote on the last season of Andor. I could go on and on.
Oh, that's awesome,
But,
dude.
yeah, he's dope. But he pontificates that video games are often looked at as not being literature, but they are. And so he basically made me play The Last of Us, where you pick the kid up and you're running away from the zombies. I'm just like,
Yeah.
I can't handle this anxiety.
yeah, you can't.
This sucks.
You anytime you go in a dark room, you just hear clicking noises.
Good
You're like, no, I'm
Lord.
out, dude. I'm out.
Nightmare. But it's that thing. I kind of I just stopped playing them at a certain age, and not for anything like not because I stopped. I left the Boy Scouts because I was more interested in girls.
Right.
It's not that kind of thing where I'm just like, oh, this is for kids. I just kind of hit a wall and liked other things. But people who played video games their whole lives, I think they're cognitively advanced. I think they're better at problem solving.
Especially now.
I think they have less of a reticence, the reticence I have, to fix a problem right away. And I think that's good.
Right.
Or there's stoners that just live on the couch. But,
Well, I think when we were growing up, because I think you're kind of around my age.
I'm definitely way older than you.
Yeah, I was trying to give you some rope there, buddy.
Thank you.
I was trying to help you.
Thank you, but somebody in their car right now went,
Yeah.
no.
What? No.
Justin, please.
Well, I think that there's something too when you grow up in the video game era, because like my dad was like a professional pool player, or like he played pool a lot.
Yeah.
And so every place that he played pool also had a video game thing. So
Perfect, yeah.
But you always just had, with a video game in that place, you never beat them. You just ran out of quarters.
Yeah, that's it.
For the most part.
Right.
And so now gamers complete. You spend all the time
That's
you can
true.
to complete something, and also
Yeah.
like when we were growing up, it wasn't like we didn't have like Red Dead Redemption or
No,
these
yeah.
very intricate, even just like the Dark Knight, Arkham.
Yeah.
Where it's like these very intricate
Yeah.
stories that go on forever.
Absolutely.
It's just like, oh, I can't get past the second level of the Terminator shoot 'em up video game at
Yeah.
the skating rink. So I just got to try better next time.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's. But what you're saying is absolutely correct about them being the savants.
They are, but I think also, I think it's good for your brain development. But like, I just remember, like the thing when I was a kid, like it was always like, oh, what are you doing for your birthday?
Right.
Because then we all got to go someplace.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost like, you know, you can do the pizza parlor. It's nice, but let's go someplace that also has, you know, that's. Like, okay, Chuck E. Cheese when you're a kid.
For sure.
A lot of video games.
Skee ball.
But we had nickel arcades when I was a kid, where you paid $5 to get in, and every game was a nickel, but it was all the hottest games, and so you just had this bag of nickels. And I remember that was pretty much the hottest ticket. That was the thing where like,
That's amazing.
You guys are going to Nickel Arcade, right? Which one? The one on Belmont? The one in Clackamas? Which one? You know, that was like it for like the '80s kids, because it was the thing of, you know, it's always, you know, your only games are a quarter, maybe 50 cents,
Right.
and you have $3. It's
Yeah.
not a lot of games. You have a sack of nickels.
Yeah. It's like $5 blackjack.
It's
yeah.
yeah, it's afternoon delight. You know what I mean?
Did you ever, when you bring that up, did you ever, when you were a kid, realize you're like, hey, so and so's birthday's coming up, and he's kind of like, we could push him into having a party.
Absolutely.
Having a
We
party
knew
where we
everyone's
want it.
birthday and be like, so okay, Hoffman, you're December.
Right.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah.
You know, you can do hydro tubes. You can do Nickel Arcade.
I thought I'd have a party in my backyard. Dude, what are you doing?
Boo, dude. How old are we? 6? No. We're 10, bro.
I love that you can bully somebody to make a financial decision. You're like, yeah, just tell your mom to get a credit card, dude. Just put it down. Who cares? Everybody has a second mortgage now.
Don't get it twisted. They wouldn't pay for other kids. Your mom better give you a 20.
That's amazing, dude. All right, next question. What movie character has the best origin story?
Whoa. The best?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I have a theory about why I think I like superheroes. I think they're incredibly ridiculous.
Yeah.
The whole concept.
For sure.
You know, like
Yeah.
I used to have in the toss off in my act of like, Batman makes no sense. Like, who would Batman fight right now? The Crips?
Right. Yeah.
How's this work? I don't know who I want to win right there, you know, but like, you know, because so much crime comes out of poverty, and he is a billionaire.
For sure.
You know?
Yeah.
But that said,
in any other movie, in any other thing, he would be the villain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
well, but it's like the thing. Joker's a great villain because all
Right.
he likes is chaos. You know,
For sure.
so like to my point, any villains that you're like, I kind of get where he or she is coming from.
Yeah.
I totally get it. You know, what's his name? Killmonger in Black Panther.
Yes.
I get it. I
Yeah.
get it. I get where that guy's coming from. We've been subjugated. We should subjugate the world. It's our turn. It's
For
like,
sure.
You know, you can't fight evil with evil, though. You know,
For sure. I mean, it's also interesting that you can have that trauma beginning can create good and like
Absolutely.
I mean, literally. I mean, not. But like you look at like Killmonger, and then you look like Vito Corleone.
Yes.
it's the same trajectory, and they just. And then also,
Vito Corleone is like, ask the question, would you kill for your family?
yeah,
Of course you would.
simple.
Of course you would. You know, but is that right?
Yeah,
Thanos. We're running out of resources.
right.
This is the answer. It is an answer.
Yeah.
It's a terrible answer. We should find a better answer. But it's like when they caught him, he was just picking oranges, hanging out.
Yeah.
Probably writing folk music when he went back to his little cave.
Yeah,
And they cut his head off.
it would be funny to think
You
like
know?
what musical instrument was hanging up in that shack. You know,
I tweeted this out. I just want a movie of Thanos' day before they showed up. That's all.
yeah.
What's he do? What does he do all day? Does he go swimming by himself?
Yeah.
He's like a big baby. He's like a big purple.
It would be funny to see him like having to get dressed and you're like his armor is just like wadded up in the corner.
Yeah. He just has a
and you're
sack.
Just like, oh my god.
Doesn't care. He's just a dad on the couch, right? Just a dad on his. He's that dad you came over and he didn't know you were coming over to see his son, your friends with.
That's so
and
funny.
He's just got his underwear on, like one ball hanging out. And you're like, Thanos. Oh, I didn't know you were coming.
How do you know my son?
Who are you? Yeah. Give me a beer.
Which daughter are you here to see?
Jesus. Yeah. But yeah, I'd say, I love a good villain origin story that makes you go, oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Obviously want to be like Richard III, where it's like, I am a misshapen little man who everyone has made fun of their whole life, and they think I'm this evil little person. So I am. You win. I'm steering into it. I'm going to do everything bad from now on because I tried your rules and they don't fit me. So it's this thing of oh, what did we make?
Yeah.
What did all of us make in this thing? It can't be just someone who's like, as much as I loved the old movies in the movies in the 80s where the villains were just like cackling and kicking in windows for no reason. It's got any kind of origin where you're kind of like, oh, this is the bad guy, but the reason is great.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. And also, there's a lot of movies, too, where it's like you realize you're watching the origin story. And so, like, the thing that would make you want to know the origin story, you never get. That's left up to your imagination.
And that's why I hate prequels.
Yeah.
Just you can give me the reason why he or she is this way in one line.
Right.
You can just give me that. And then I go, oh, and I see it all in my head. I don't care. Patton's bit about at midnight I will kill George Lucas.
Oh,
I see Darth Vader as a kid.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Don't care at all. Yeah.
Do you like Angelina Jolie?
Exactly.
That's so great. But Matt, we're to the last one. This is the big one.
All right.
What hill would you die on?
Okay. So as I told you before we started rolling, I have two because I have one that is like a deeply held conviction and a little boring, but it's none of us know what we would do in any situation. So to judge is basically intellectually corrupt, which is a fancy way of saying stupid.
Right.
Very obvious example would be Mark Wahlberg being like, if I would have been on one of those 9/11 planes, it would have gone different. I'm just saying. It would have gone different. And I'm just like, how dare you, man?
Yeah.
And we're big on that. Men are big on that.
For sure.
Oh, would have gone down different. I was there. I don't know. Kind of an ass kicker.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I tell you, I would never let that happen. You don't know.
I don't care if a bear's trying to take that pilot. I'm going to get after it.
I don't care. Or any situation where someone did something that we might deem cowardly or incorrect or whatever. You just don't. You're like, hey, if I would have been there, you'll never know.
Right.
So maybe you should just be quiet. And I'm not saying we can't judge people for doing wrong things or making the wrong decision. We can, but that just always that always gets me because you don't. I'm old enough to realize that I've had situations where I've done better than I thought I would have.
Yeah. And
also situations I've done far worse. I fell below my standards of things where I'm just like, man, I should have said something or whatever, So that's the boring one.
I don't think that's boring. I do think it's pretty wild to call a plane full of victims cowards.
And it's like, he
that
probably
feels real weird.
I'm sure he didn't, just to play advocate, I'm sure he didn't think of it that way. And I've also said a lot of dumb stuff too in my life.
Yeah.
But that's a real dumb thing to say.
Maybe it's just because he was mad he wasn't cast on Flight 93.
Could have been.
And then he ended up having to do that plane movie where he's bald.
He pitched a whole idea that was basically Pastor 57. Yeah.
He's like, I'm in shape. I run on the golf course. I don't use a golf cart. I run to every hole.
I get up at 3 a.m. Do you need to know anything else?
I'm so successful, my brother makes hamburgers. Do you understand how much that is in our brain?
And let me tell you, I played Springfield, Massachusetts recently. There's a casino there, the MGM. It's a fun gig. It's a weird gig because you play an old armory and the ceilings are like 100 feet tall. There's a Wahlburgers outside. Real good burgers.
Yeah.
I finally had one.
For sure.
Solid. No complaints. Great job, Wahlberg family.
It is funny. That's how you know food is good, because no comic ever complains about it.
No. Yeah, no one has a bit about, fancy celebrity burger. They did that.
For sure.
The silly one is, and I really love occasionally posting this one because people really go after me, but you got to let me, I don't know if I'm going to trigger anyone here, but Dr. Pepper is raisin soda. And I know you're going to say, look at the ingredients. I've had a lot of people yell at me. There's no raisins in it. No, you're right. It's raisin flavor.
Yeah.
It's raisin or prune flavor. Take a sip. I'm not saying it's not tasty. I love raisins. Every time I go to the Sky Club, and it's probably my biggest indulgence, is airport lounges.
Of course.
Shout out to Delta. I will go and I'll start with a little bit of oatmeal. It's good for your heart.
Of course.
You know, and I'll have a little bit of brown sugar and a big scoop of raisins. Mix it all up.
Right.
It's a delicious starter to your day.
Of course.
I love raisins. Dr. Pepper is raisin flavored soda. I know that might hurt your feelings.
Yeah.
Because you love Dr. Pepper and you think it's this magical flavor that no one's ever thought of. It's out of nowhere, that doesn't exist in nature. It does. It's called raisins. And I've had people really go after me for it, but it's one of those things that I'm just like, you can't, I can't look at 3 lights and say it's 4.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Doing this, having this take in Texas is,
yeah.
I mean, it's,
I know.
There, yeah.
I know. I don't know if I'm going to make it out of the parking lot.
Yeah.
But
you go to a Buc-ee's gas station, they have all generic flavors except for Dr. Pepper. They can't.
And Dr. Pepper is delicious. There's a reason why the line from Lazy Sunday, by Lonely Island,
right?
With was it Twizzlers plus Dr. Pepper equals crazy delicious?
Yeah.
Like that line hits so hard because everyone's like, they are so good. They're both so good. Dr. Pepper rules.
Yeah.
It just tastes like raisins.
I love that.
So
that's both hills are approved. Matt, where can everybody find you?
So you can find me at Braunger on Instagram, Real Matt Braunger on TikTok. I think it's Matt Braunger Comedy on Facebook. So confusing. Or you can just go to mattbraunger.com. And my last name is Braun, like the Braun Shaver. If you remember that, GER and the coffee machine. So yeah, let's see. I have a
special taping.
I have a special taping in Berkeley on May 15th that I'm shooting at the Cornerstone Theater, and then I have an ongoing, incredibly silly podcast called Tank Top Talks, where me and my guest each wear a tank top of our choice and discuss them. Because as I say on the show, tank tops are ridiculous, but they feel good, and the reason why they feel good is because they're ridiculous. Might as well not wear a shirt.
For sure.
It's a really silly piece of clothing. And I had this dumb idea, but I found that sitting across a table and we're from someone and we're both wearing tank tops, we both feel so insane that any armor is gone. It's not just physical. You know what I mean? It's we can talk about anything and we get real loose. And it's the thing of with me, I got the idea because if I'm wearing a tank top, I'm on vacation.
Yeah,
I'm not one of those guys, who does what I call a tucked-in tank. Which back in the '80s, you had the scary dad who would wear a tank top tucked in jeans, and that guy was a monster. Okay, I'm not saying they were angry, but they're butt kickers. Like these are guys who would take off the tank and fold it neatly and lay it in the cab of their pickup if they're about to get in a fist fight.
You have a Monday tank, Tuesday
if
tank,
he's
Wednesday
folding
tank.
a tank top, you need to walk away because it's not going to go well for you. But it's just like a silly thing. And I've had, we all have body dysmorphia. We all have hang-ups about how we look, especially about our upper arms, and especially women. And I always bring up Mav Viola, who's a very funny comic, but she looks like a diver. Like she's in incredible shape, but she had to get stoned to come and do it. She's like, I hate how my arms look in this. And I'm like, outside looking in, you look fantastic, you know? But I have people that are just like, yeah, I wear these all the time, you know? that it's also very fun. So yeah, it's just one of those things where I like a podcast that has a nice hook, like this one, where it provokes a reaction, where you're kind of like, I want to know what the questions are, and this is kind of cool that there's this limited list, and then we go.
For sure.
So it's really rad. So it's just got it's the silliest hook ever, but it's probably my 4th or 5th podcast in the past 15 or 20 years, but this is the one that I'm like, oh, this one I can just keep doing because I can see I want everybody on this show. I want people in tank tops who never wear them, people that wear them. I want incredibly famous people on, but I also want someone you've never heard of that does something that I find incredibly interesting,
Right.
or has a really interesting take, or who I met. You know,
Yeah,
like
those are always my favorite episodes.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like I think about Subway Takes, and now Subway Takes has a lot of famous people on, and hey, get the bag.
Yeah.
But I just love when they had random New Yorkers.
Yeah.
That was my favorite, where I was like, I want to know what she's talking about.
Yeah.
I want to know what he's talking about, you know.
Also, they would have comics on that you're like, oh, he started comedy after you're like,
Yeah.
you're
Oh,
like,
you look him up.
Yeah.
3,000 followers.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is great.
Great take.
Great take.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that doesn't, the algorithm does not define
For sure.
how good or bad or worthy or not you are. You know
Right.
what I mean? So anyway, but yeah.
Dude, amazing. Can I just say, truly an honor to have you on.
Thanks, man.
Really,
That means a lot. I really
it's
appreciate
really awesome to have you.
Thanks so
Thank
much.
you so much for doing it. Guys, we'll see you next week. Have a great week.